You're going to take a nail through each of the sides there. And the ease with which these nails are going in suggests to me that I used a drill bit that was just a tiny bit too big. But two things I'd add here. One is that the boxes are not laterally torqued very much in the course of most beekeeping. So it's very rare for one of these joints to come undone. And second, the bulk of the lifting is done again by the glue. Okay, so you're going to wipe that joint off, and you'll see you have a nice tight joint there. Sometimes you have glue on the inside. Wipe that down, and you have a nice tight joint. Let me shift now to putting a joint together with a screw. You'll need, I'm using my drill here. Some folks prefer to screw them together, and arguably that's a stronger joint, but again, I'm not sure it's terribly critical. There's not lots of torque on these boxes laterally unless you drop them when you're full of honey. The screws you're going to want to use is like a very thin drywall screw, and the length should be about 1 3/4 inch. These happen to be 1 5/8 inch. And again, we're going to make sure, first step, making sure our handles are pointing in the same direction, lining them up, and providing a healthy dose of Titebond 2. Obviously, the more you do this, the more you get to the place where this flows pretty quickly. I'm spreading that Titebond out so that it provides an even contact or even seal. And I'm going to try to do a little bit better job of seating that. You do want to try not to get too much glue on the side of the box, because that will make it more difficult for you when you get to the point of painting. Now, rarely this process can split one of these boards. You can create a split that begins down one side of one of the boards. If that occurs, you want to throw some glue down in that crack and be a little bit gentle with it. Now, we've got that seated, and we're going to throw these nails in. You don't want to drive them too deeply. And if the head of the nail sticks out just a little bit, I don't think that causes much harm. You really don't need to put more than 2 to 3 screws from any one side, this creating a very sturdy bond and leaving you with a very strong box. So you have two choices here. You've got nailing and screwing. Either will work just fine. I'm sure leave you with a very strong box. So you've assembled your box, and you've got all 4 of the angles both glued and either nailed or screwed together. You have one more step, and that is to reach into your toolbox and get a square. This is a simple plastic square, and you want to make sure that the edge of the box is square. Now, if you've got 2 of the angles, 2 or 3 of the angles square, you're doing well. If it's a little bit off square, The way to fix that is just to take it and wrap it, and often that's enough to bring it back true. This box is square. The other way to do that, by the way, is to take a ruler and run it corner to corner, and you'll need to be fairly exact with that, and then make sure you have the same measurement corner to corner here. You have a box that's ready to go, whether you're going to stain or paint, and put bees in it, and they'll be very happy with that. So now, assuming that you've completed, built your 30 or 40 frames and 3 or 4 boxes, I'm going to introduce you to the other pieces of hive equipment. This is a screen bottom board. I've painted this brown and put some stripes on here just to minimize drifting that we'll talk about in class. But there's the screen bottom board. You're going to have that on a hive stand of some sort, and we'll talk about that in class. And then your hive is going to consist of that screen bottom board with a basic hive body is going to be, or basic brood nest is going to be 3 of these medium boxes. Now mine are stained, but you can paint them. This is an inner cover. You'll see there's a little notch. The little notch goes toward the front of the hive. And this is an outer cover that protects it from the weather. And there you have your colony ready to go.